What's up YouTube? It's Lego King 71 here with another video. In today's video, what I'm really excited to do is react to some of my unreleased stop motion videos that the internet has never seen before, ranging all the way back to my very first stop motion video that I ever made, all the way through 2014 when I stopped making stop motion videos. I'm super excited about this for a couple reasons. One, obviously these videos have never been seen before and it'll be kind of nostalgic going through some of my first videos I ever made. And two is because I thought it'd be great to look back at some of my earliest stop motions before I get into making my newest brick film, which is a Lego Samurai action short film. So I already have the script written for that, and when I move into my new studio, I'm really excited to start working on that, as well as finishing building the castle mock that you see behind me here. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into some of my unreleased stop motions. So this first one we're going to be watching, let's check it out here, was created July 21st, 2010. And this was the very first stop motion I ever made. So let's go ahead and just pull it up and watch it. Before anything, let me just pause it here for a second. You'll notice on the screen there's a battery symbol and the date down here, and it looks like some menu options. And that's because for this very first stop motion that I ever made, I actually had no idea how to use any video editing software or how to even take my pictures off my camera onto a computer. So what I had to do was I took all these pictures for the stop motion on my digital camera, and then I borrowed my mom's digital camera and filmed myself as I quickly scrolled through all the pictures, and that's how I made it into a video file, which I just think is kind of hilarious. So yeah, you'll have to excuse the quality here for a second, but it's still pretty cool. So let's go ahead and hit play. So yeah, it's just two guys getting out of a truck and getting into a fight, and the guy decapitates him at the end and drives off. So yeah, that's the end of that video. You'll also see in the background some couch cushions, and that's because this was filmed in my grandparents' living room on their coffee table using their Lego collection. So yeah, that's just kind of funny, I thought. So the end. I guess that's it. That's my first ever stop motion. I was a little bit surprised how still I was able to keep the camera because I really didn't know anything about it. I just saw a few videos on YouTube and was like, whoa, let me try this. I can take pictures. So that's what I did. I was 12 years old at the time when I made that video too. Not bad for a first attempt. My second ever stop motion. Again, still didn't know how to use video editing software, so I just did the two camera method that I talked about before. This stop motion, it looks like, was made July 28th, 2010. Go ahead and check this one out. This one's super blurry apparently. I guess I didn't have the screen in focus when I was trying to film it. So this one's kind of just like a pirate stop motion. You can see some British guards on a dock. They're getting shot by cannons. Pirate cuts that guy in half. And at the end, somehow they steal the treasure and everybody drives off. And then I have the end instead of in Legos this time. Oh, there I go. Yeah. I narrated the end part for some reason. Yeah, that's my second ever stop motion. I promise that's the last one that's poor quality filmed like that. Let's get into some other ones where I actually learned how to use video editing software. The next stop motion I made was a castle stop motion, and this was the first time I believe I was using Adobe Premiere Elements, which is different than Adobe Premiere. It has way less features and is pretty jank to use, but nonetheless, that was the first software that I learned. I actually, funny story, didn't know how to select multiple pictures at a time, so I would drag in one by one each of these, it looks like close to 300 pictures, 350 pictures into the project, one picture at a time. And then I would also, once it was in the project, have to manually set each picture to be a few tenths of a second long. Each one I would right click, change time, and type in however long it was supposed to be, one picture at a time, because I didn't know how to hold the shift key and select multiple pictures. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Hi, Miss Bandit. Are you interrupting my video? This is my dog Bandit. She wanted to be in the video apparently. All right, get out of here. Come on. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, this was the first stop motion that I ever learned how to use any video editing software. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So you'll notice at this point I was able to add sound effects to the videos, which really enhances them a lot, actually. And again, I wasn't concerned at all what the background was. Let's go back here. You can see my parents' purple couch in our living room where I had this set up. I wasn't really concerned about any of that at the time for some reason, so just kind of funny. And I guess this guy's telling the king that there's invaders coming, and you can see him getting off the ship and assembling an army in front of the kingdom. So that guy goes and runs around and tells all the villagers to hide, basically. And the soldiers grab their horses and prepare for battle. So you can see the massive army of Scorpion Knights. And then here's a bunch of Blue Knights. And then at the very end here, before I abandon this stop motion, you can see it's kind of funny. There's my parents' TV in the living room, a huge box TV that we used to have. But then you'll see suddenly it's not a living room in the background anymore. We moved the whole thing down to my dad's workshop in the unfinished part of the basement. And I guess this is where I officially abandoned the stop motion. So yeah, that's it. That one's pretty cool. You can see how much better the quality is when I actually know how to import the pictures into the video editing software. Let's move on into the next stop motion I made. This one was created Sunday, December 26th, 2010. Actually, I shot this at my friend's house. This was my best friend growing up in grade school. So yeah, we made this at his house using his Lego Star Wars collection. And we actually have another Lego Star Wars video, or maybe two more, that I filmed with him at his house that are actually on my channel that you can watch. I'll probably put a link up here if you want to check them out.
Roger.
They're all about this quality, but it's still kind of cool to watch. So yeah, nothing too plot heavy here. It's just a clone army versus a droid army, and they're fighting each other in a huge battle. Nothing too crazy. And that's how it ends. Like a lot of my other unfinished projects, all of these are going to end pretty suddenly. That's why they're unfinished. Next, let's move on to the next stop motion I made, which was actually, I believe, a Lego Lord of the Rings stop motion. So this was supposed to be a recreation of the big battle with the Uruk-hai and Lurtz in the very first movie. Let's see, when was this one made? August 8th, 2011. So this is getting into 2011, so I guess I would be 13 years old at this point. Let's go ahead and check it out. Again, not a whole lot of plot, just straight action going on. So yeah, that one's pretty cool, I think. And this next stop motion is another Lego Knight stop motion. This one, it looks like about 260 pictures, made September 21st, 2011. So shortly after I made the Lego Lord of the Rings stop motion, I made this one. So this one's pretty simple. Basically, a princess gets kidnapped by the Green Dragon Knights, which are the same theme as I've been working on for my Lego Castle mock, actually. And they capture the princess, bring her back to their castle, and lock her up. So then later, one of the Lion Knights discovers that the princess has been kidnapped, so he heads back to the castle and tells the king what's going on. And they march up to the Green Dragon Knights, and presumably a battle would have happened after that. And that was the end before I abandoned that stop motion. Moving on, we're going to get into a new era of my stop motions where I actually learned how to do special effects and green screen. So the effects are going to look pretty bad, but it'll give you an idea of kind of my growth, and you'll be able to see where I started from with my very first effects. So this stop motion, it looks like, was made January 16th, 2020. 12. So that would have made me almost 14 at the time. Let's get into it. Oh, let's pause it here. So right off the bat, you're going to notice some really jank looking fire effects and smoke effects and a really bad green screen. This guy's supposed to be on a hill down here that's overlooking a village that I green screened behind him, and the village is on fire. So again, a really bad green screen of the horse going across the plain. And then he arrives in the forest where he has to fight some goblins. So you'll notice some really, as far as the chroma key is concerned, really poorly keyed blood effects and the blue screen behind the stop motion. So yeah, the whole thing's pretty funny actually. A really cool mountain in the background for this part. Apparently he traveled to a mountain and now is fighting dwarves on top of it. And then at the very end, I went really overboard with the green screen and put him in a mine car that's going down this 3D rendered cave. I think this is just stock footage I found somewhere and just plopped him on top of it. So yeah, you can even see really bad blue screen around the edges and some holes in the sword and stuff like that. Like I said though, this was my very first attempt ever using green screen or any special effects, so not bad if you ask me. I believe the next stop motion, this one doesn't have any special effects in it. I made this one, it looks like Thursday, June 6th, 2013. It consists of only about 100 pictures for this one, so I gave up pretty fast. But the idea for this one was just basically going to be a Tomb Raider type of video. This archaeologist going into a pyramid, nothing too crazy. You can also probably notice that my animation is improving as well. Maybe not from the truck, but you'll notice that the walk cycle animation is getting a lot more smooth and the camera is a lot more smooth as well. Yeah, let's just go ahead and hop into the next one. So this one's kind of cool. This is a test video that I made before I made my third person Lego stop motion video, which was titled Lego Infiltration. So I'll link that one up here. But this was a test I did to see how it would look like trying to get the camera to follow the movement of a character throughout a stop motion. And it also was a way for me to find out how it would look like to put some muzzle flashes behind the character. So this is just a short test, like I said, but we'll go ahead and watch it. It's kind of a cool video. So you see the guy walking across the screen, and I added some muzzle flashes and some blood effects and that kind of stuff on there. And then last but not least, kind of excited to show this one. So this is a stop motion, around 100 pictures again, but I think it turned out really cool actually. I think this is the very last stop motion I ever made. So I made this one January 21st, 2014, and let's go ahead and just check it out. That one was pretty gruesome. This was supposed to be the intro for a Lego zombie stop motion I was making, but just never got around to actually working on it. But this was intro scene where he wakes up in a hospital, gets attacked by a zombie. It's kind of supposed to be a little bit of a jump scare there. And then he throws the zombie against the wall, smashes his face in, and rips his brain out. You can see here, I actually hand painted all this. It's supposed to look like blood, but I didn't paint directly on the Legos. There's actually a piece of Scotch tape, which you can kind of see here. So I didn't actually paint on the Legos. It's actually clear tape that I painted on top of the Legos, just to kind of make it look like a more gory of a horror scene. And I did some color grade also to make it look a little darker and grimier. So yeah, you can definitely see that the stop motion quality improved over time. And that was the last one that I made. So hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. It was quite a bit of fun for me to kind of reminisce on my old stop motions and see how far I've come. And it gives me some motivation and ideas going into making my newest stop motion next month when I start moving into my new studio. Stay tuned for more videos soon. I'll be getting back to these castle mock videos, like I said, in about a month, and I'll also be documenting the moving process. So thanks for watching. See ya.